Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloan, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hard Hats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host who created comedy. That's right, I am CEO of comedy.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
And we're going to do so while eating a little bit of junk. So last week, we promised you some fancy cloud bread that I saw on TikTok. And I told Kandyce last week that we have to make it. And we did. And
we delivered.
We're about to taste it for the first time right now. I know we're not supposed to do much at the beginning of our little intros, but are you ready, Kandyce?
Okay.
I'll take a little piece.
Oh, it's not super warm anymore, but
okay, yeah, because it was steamy earlier.
Let's talk about texture. It's very squishy.
It's very squishy. Cloud. If I do say so myself. Most people accidentally leave out the vanilla, is what we heard. So we put extra vanilla, and it tastes extra yummy.
Yeah, not bad.
It's very yummy. It tastes like marshmallows. So yeah, me and Kandyce are sharing today. Very delicious.
Also, you must know I've seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan, started watching in 2007, and for the most part watched it as it aired.
I've seen season 1 and those we've done on the show, and a few scattered here and there in different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby, take it away. Here's what happened.
This is Mr. Monk and the Bad Girlfriend, Season 6, Episode 4. In the opening scene, we see Monk and Natalie entering the captain's office, where he's on his nightly video chat with his girlfriend, Linda Fusco. They're discussing their upcoming trip to Hawaii when she realizes it's 7 p.m. and has to go. Across town, we also see Linda's business partner, Sean Corcoran, showing an open house when a masked assailant appears and shoots Corcoran dead with a shotgun. Monk begins investigating the case, quickly realizing that it would be someone that had a key to the house and that the killer was a woman. He then realizes there is one woman that had a key to the house, a powerful motive, and a shotgun. Linda Fusco. Sharing this information with only Randy, he explains how it's simply not possible with Linda video chatting 30 miles away at the time of the crime. Natalie and Monk set out to disprove her alibi by motorcycle and fail to do so. Just as they are about to give up on their theory, they find the hibiscus flower that Linda had in her hair during the video chat, hidden in the bushes. Monk must break the news to Stottlemeyer, but he is not having it. Natalie and Monk devise a scheme to snoop in Linda's house, where Monk finds a truck rental receipt and a missing shotgun. Linda confronts Monk and lures him into her bedroom, where Monk finds his final clue. After he runs out of the house, he and Natalie begin working on how to prove to the captain that Linda is the guy. During the Hawaiian send-off party, Monk explains the whole thing. Linda had rented a moving truck and designed the inside of it to look exactly like her bedroom. She began having nightly video chats with Leland at the same time to create an alibi. On the night of the murder, she parked outside the open house and video chatted from the back of the truck. When she hung up, she unlocked the door with her key, staged a break-in, and shot her partner dead. But the final clue was a pen. On the night of the murder, there was a pen on Linda's desk that began to roll off the dresser next to her. But when Monk was in her bedroom earlier, it didn't roll at all, so Monk knew that they were not the same room. She had parked her moving set on a slant. Monk makes this very convincing argument, all from the setup in the back of the rental truck. Stottlemeyer is forced to face the facts and places his girlfriend under arrest.
Ooh, so that was Mr. Monk and the Bad Girlfriend.
Very eventful, very, very, very good episode.
All right, Noah, what did you like about this episode?
Let's see. Sorry.
I caught him off guard because he's eating more cloud bread.
It got all sticky on my hands. I didn't even know. It literally is like marshmallow. I brought photos. I know it's kind of, what is it called?
An oxymoron.
An oxymoron. Yeah, there we go. To bring photos to a podcast. But Linda reminds me of Carol Baskin.
Oh, gosh.
With the hula.
Oh,
Look it. So we have her doing the little hula on the video chat, right?
Mm-hmm. And she's the bad girlfriend.
She's the bad girlfriend.
Oh, no.
That's just me.
All right, the first thing that I have is that guy was a real hammerhead. Linda doesn't want Stottlemeyer to go to the crime scene, so he
calls, I guess, I don't know if it's not his jurisdiction, maybe it's a different county or something, but so Stottlemeyer's not there, but Natalie and Monk are, and they go up to the scene, and this cop is like, he's kind of rude to them, and Natalie and Monk start explaining, like, oh yeah, we just have to worry about this one guy. Stottlemeyer said he used to work with him, and he's like a real hammerhead, and Monk like thrust his head forward like, and the guy's like, yeah, that was me. And they're like, whoa, no, that wasn't you. Yeah, no, he said that's the guy. He said that it wasn't. It's so funny. And then later when they're walking into the house after the guy, Monk does his head again. He's like, to Natalie, super funny. And then whenever they're in the room, they're supposed to have observer status only. And
then they start talking.
And Natalie starts talking, oh my gosh, I love Runway. It's too expensive for me though. And Monk's like, why can't you afford it? And she's like, really? Come on. And then
he's like, no, it wasn't me. It was Natalie. Come on.
No, yeah, that's true. But then the guy looks over, he's like, no, that wasn't me. Natalie said it. And he's like, it wasn't you. About the Stottlemeyer thing. It's so funny.
Romantic Stotty with a little kissy face.
Oh.
Romantic Stotty. He's like, let me cut down this tree for you at the beginning.
Oh, gosh. I love that. At first, I watched it again to take some better notes. And because this episode was intriguing. I was like, why does he cut that tree down? I don't understand, like, what the point of that is. And I was like, oh, it's to blend in the clue that he got that rental truck towed away from her house. So he's like, oh, yeah, I cut this tree down for you because I love you and I'm trying to look out for you. And also some idiot parked in front of the fire hydrant, so I had them tow the rental truck away. And so they were camouflaging that clue that her rental truck gets taken away, right? Because that's how it's still intact when Monk gets it. Because the rental truck is in the tow yard or whatever. So I was like, that's a really good, blatant clue that they hid with his chivalrous acts. I liked that.
That's really, really good.
Yeah. It's deep.
I love it. Probably written by Andy Beckman. Cheeky little Linda. She's like sneaking around, doing little Linda schemes. Little Fusco. Linda Baskin.
Basket. That's hilarious.
Dang. She probably would have killed Stotty too.
Oh, that's sad.
Killed her husband.
Oh, gosh. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that later. Okay. The line, right? Okay, so Monk and Natalie have to tell somebody about their theory. So they go to tell Randy, right? And Natalie's like, we got to keep it really secret. You cannot tell anyone this. This stays just between us. You're in love with me? And she's like, what? No. It's like, no, Linda Fusco is the killer. And he's like, what? And that's not possible. And she's like, I'm in love with you. What are you talking about? And then they go over to the board and he's like, look, it's not possible. She was 30 miles away. And Natalie's like, well, maybe she has a jetpack.
Like in the Bond movies.
He's like, no, there's no such thing as a real working jetpack. Don't ask me how I know. And then, because I'm thinking the same thing, I'm like, what a terrible idea. And
he's like, what kind of crazy theories do I have?
Oh, you're right.
They're like, I don't know, you have crazy theories all the time. And then he's like, what kind of theories? And she's like, that I'm in love with you.
It's like, well, it's crazier than Linda flying a jetpack across San Francisco. And then Natalie says,
too close to call. Aw. Stotty is such a simp. He's a little simp. And simps are basically someone who'll do anything to get with like a girl or guy,
Is that what that means? I thought it was like whipped.
A whipped?
No, whipped. Like our version of whipped. Where like, you'll do anything for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
But not to get a girl. Like not like you're a player.
Both.
Like you have a girlfriend and you do whatever she says.
Yeah, like from School of Rock. The one that,
Yeah, Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Marcy Maven.
Marcy, the dude's a simp for Marcy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A+ simping right there.
Stotty the simp.
Stotty, this little simp, he's blinded by love.
Okay, so we have when Natalie and Monk are trying to disprove, that Linda could or couldn't, they don't want her to be guilty, but they also, all the evidence so far is pointing to her. So they have to prove that, whether she did it or not. So Natalie gets a motorcycle. And
favorite.
And do you want to say that one?
Sketchy favorite. We will favorite that shall not be named.
She tells Monk, look, you have to wear this helmet. And he's like, ooh, nope, can't wear the helmet. And she's like, no, Mr. Monk, bugs will fly into your mouth. And he's like, can't you just avoid the bugs? I can't avoid the bugs. Yeah, you see a bug, you zig. You see another bug, you zag, zigzag, zigzag. And she's like, Mr. Monk, put the helmet on. And then he puts it on and she's like, he's like, what? And she's like, nothing, I'm just laughing about something I heard earlier. You look good. It's so cute. Like, she's obviously, like, making fun of him. But to me, that was, like, just a little bit of Sharona vibes where it's, like, she's teasing him, but
it's classic Natalie.
It's in a good, funny way that you like it.
You have to ruin that. Oh, I love Natalie in the scene because she reminds me of Sharona. Just let her have the win. Come on.
But what I was saying, because I was thinking, like, oh, that's kind of mean of Natalie. And then I watched it again, and I was like, but no, that's, like, the kind of stuff that is, like, funny about Sharona. So I can give that one to Natalie. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to go off your Blinded by Love, I put vulnerable Stottlemeyer. Mm-hmm. He loves Linda so much, and he, like, thinks it's his last shot with her. And it's, like, that's kind of a little bit of a dislike, but it's just really sad. And it's, like, I thought it was a really great acting moment by Ted Levine when he's, like, angry, but then,
I don't like that, like, oh, she's my last shot, like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it was more, for me, like, a great vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
Just for Stottlemeyer in general, not necessarily what he is saying.
Yeah. It was a good acting moment. I don't know if the line really made too much sense.
Yeah. So, basically, the rest of what I have is, and the reason I didn't take good notes the first time was that I was completely and utterly hooked on this episode from, like, probably the middle of it. Whereas, like, usually it's like, okay, well, we're getting close to the summation. He's putting the clues together. This is, like, from the middle. Like, when it, like, I guess maybe probably right after they disprove him and they have to tell the captain. And the captain, is super mad about it. From then on, it was like, I completely stopped taking notes. Because I was just like, what the heck? Linda seducing Monk. I absolutely love that.
Crazy.
I love that because it's like, I don't know, the reason that they put these scenes into shows is because it's like, you don't obviously want anything to happen, but you want your character to come through and do the right thing. So as much as you're like, oh my gosh, Linda, you're a terrible person. This is the worst. Oh my gosh. You're like, Monk, stay true to Monk. Like, don't, like, not that there was any doubt, like, oh, he was going to kiss her, but it's like, you just like to see him with his high moral compass doing the right thing. And it's also really funny because she's like, what Leland doesn't know won't hurt him. And he's like, that's not true. That would kill him. And also he's like my only friend. Well, except there was this one guy from like last year, Hal Tucker, but I think he might've been using me. Not sure.
And then whenever she was like talking to Stottlemeyer and she was like, he tried to get me in bed and like being all dramatic and stuff to Stottlemeyer, he was like, Adrian Monk tried. Wait,
Leland, he was touching me. And he's like, what? He's like, he said that if I didn't sleep with him, he'd frame me for the murder. It's like, Adrian Monk wanted to sleep with you? Is that so hard to believe? He doesn't say yes or no. He's just like, you can tell.
You can tell he's like,
I love that. I love the seed of doubt that is like, wait a second, maybe he's right, but he's still so in love with her. He's like, I believe that in that moment he knows that she's flat out lying, but still is trying to push past it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, maybe that doesn't mean that she's the killer or something. Like, very psychological, this one.
Exactly.
I also love towards the end when they're, Monk is about to do his summation and he's calling from the back of the truck and Natalie's like, brings them into the office, and she turns on the computer, and Monk has the video camera, and he's touching it. She's like, Mr. Monk, it's fine. Mr. Monk, quit touching it. Sit down. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, Randy's like, hey, Monk, like all excited. And he's like, Randy, is that you? What are you wearing? And Randy is drunk, and he's like, police tape, where are you? Like, he acts like it's no big deal. It's like, police tape, where are you?
It's crazy. I loved it. I loved the whole reveal. I just had to chip that in. The whole reveal, she was like, because Monk wasn't allowed in, and it was a good little setup for them to be able to, like, prove it. I liked it. And then the way she, like, turned it off, and then you could hear the music.
Mm-hmm. And Natalie opens the window, and you can hear it, and they're like, what is that? She's like, oh, I think it's coming from down there. Another earring. It's over there. And then they all go down, and that reveal, that's the next thing I have written down, is that reveal. Amazing. When they open it, and Monk is still waving at the camera.
It's like, is this on?
That, like, oh my gosh, that Here's What Happened is so freaking good. Like, it is so good. That pin clue, that is epic.
That is epic, yeah.
Because he tells the whole story. And also, you were asking before, what was her motive when we were done watching it?
Yeah, and whenever I rewatched it, it was because he was leaving and he was taking a bunch of their clients.
Exactly.
In my dislikes, I wrote down, why did she want to kill Sean? And then I went back and put, never mind.
Yeah. Exactly. I wrote it down, too. I was like, oh, yeah, because I wrote the synopsis, and I was like, yeah, she has a motive.
Yeah.
Because they said it right at the beginning. But just that whole, like, setup, here's what happened, and oh my gosh, it was so good. And then he's like, and this pen, and, like, picks it up, and you're like, what about the pen? It's like, it was rolling, and you're like, I got him. And then I love it. He's like, you parked on a hill. And she's like,
yeah.
I parked on a hill. It's so
That's a good little acting thing.
And then she turns to him, and she's like, Leland, and he's like, we had something real. We could have made it all the way.
They really could have.
Randy arrest her or something. I don't even know if he says that, but it's so sad. And he puts her hands, like, one by one behind her back, and they're still, like, holding each other almost. And that's so sad. And they just take her away. Ugh.
She did not have to do that.
I teared up. I'm not
she didn't have to do it.
What do you mean she didn't have to do it? Are you saying, like,
she's
the
just
whole
petty?
stuff?
She's just petty.
All the murders are petty. It's always about money.
It's always about money, but come on. You really think your boyfriend, who's the captain of the police department, is gonna find out about the murder? It was set up very well. And the plot hole that I did have, and I can't wait. I'm just gonna say it now.
No, don't.
I'm just gonna say it.
Plot holes.
I don't know if I wrote it down, so I have to say it now.
Just say it right now.
No,
I'm done.
Oh, what did you dislike about this episode, Kandyce?
Okay, so of course, the captain thinking that Monk is jealous. I mean, he, like, goes off. He pushes him against the car.
Yeah.
He throws him against the car, and he's like, "You're just jealous because."
Very simp move. If you ask me. Very beta male. If you ask me.
And, you know, he, like, specifically says, I have a badge, I have a woman, I have a life, and you're jealous of
mean.
what I have. It's so messed up. Which I understand. I understand it comes from, like, disappointment and anger, and that he's trying to, like, push that away. But it was like, come on. It borderline, like, didn't make sense. Like, borderline didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's blinded by love, I guess. It's just... It's like it's hard to believe that somebody like the captain would believe
Turn
that
on him so easily too. Yeah. Ugh. Dislikes Linda turned. We all loved Linda.
I know.
We loved a good Linda, and she had to.
I liked her a lot.
She was so good.
I thought she was really good for him. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but I think she was good for him. And I really liked they had really compatible.
Either something happens between him and Karen, is that his name? Karen, or he just finds a different lady. I don't think he's going to be lonely.
So, kind of similar to the fact that he's jealous, when he goes into the interrogation room and he starts messing with Monk through the window and is like, putting the styrofoam pieces, scuffing up the wall, and all this stuff. Again, that was funny. What I didn't like, actually, was when he gets under his skin so much that Monk yells back through the speaker and says, that won't make Linda not the murderer.
Oh, yeah. You can convict her all you want, but you know that Linda Fusco is guilty. And it was very mic drop Monk alpha male moment. That was
I put savage, yeah.
That was a savage moment. A top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what he knows. And he's standing by it. And I love Monk. Yeah. He's so cute. I love him.
Do you have any more?
Stotty was so happy with Linda. And he didn't want to believe it and everything. And he was so happy in the little frowny face. It's very sad.
Okay, I have one more thing. Don't hate, but terrible Natalie scheme.
What?
Terrible. One of the worst. Oh my gosh.
Oh, with the apartment?
She had one freaking job, was to be with Linda and distract her so Monk could snoop. And she just lets Linda walk away. Whoa.
That was unprecedented. Who would have known that Stottlemeyer would be like, oh, Monk, that's your house. Like,
okay, no, but that has nothing to do with Natalie. For one, she says, oh, where's Mr. Monk? You guys are always together. And she says, oh, he does something every Wednesday. It's Thursday. Oh, yeah, he does something every Wednesday and Thursday. You know him. He just has to go back and do it again, check his work.
Natalie's quirky like that. Snowball's black. Come on, Kandyce.
Okay, and again, I will admit that it's funny. It is funny, and I love Natalie, but come on. What a terrible, you can't even remember the day of the week? And then...
Maybe that was part of the illusion. Wednesday, and then been like, you didn't let me finish Thursday.
And then she lets Linda just walk out after she gets a phone call.
What was she supposed to do? Tackle her? What?
Okay, for one...
Slash her tires?
Okay,
chill.
For one...
That's a Sharona move.
Okay.
Just take out a Glock 18 and be like, don't move.
No, this is what she should have done. Because do you remember what her excuse was for leaving the room? She said, oh, I forgot that I'm showing an apartment downstairs. So Natalie's like, oh, okay. Because she says, I'll be right back. And she's like, oh, okay. And so Natalie lets her walk out. If your job is to keep somebody occupied, you don't let them out of your sight. You go, oh, actually, would you mind if I looked at the apartment too? And then let her have to lie to you to get out of that. You know what I mean? Instead, she gave her such an easy way out.
Okay, Kandyce. Okay. Are you Natalie? No.
What?
Be quiet.
No, I'm Sharona. What are you talking about?
And sit down.
Benji,
okay, so now my dislike. The dude from the crime scene, first of all, why was he even there? He was a character that did not need to exist. And also, he's trying to not agree with Monk. And Monk's like, yeah, there's no way she had to have had a key to get in because she didn't walk over the glass, which would be broken. And he's like, well, maybe she just stepped over the glass. I'm like, no, she didn't. You're given evidence. You gotta...
He's a hammerhead.
He's a little hammerhead.
He was, yeah, that's true.
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
I didn't catch that dislike. That guy, he's just dumb.
He's just not, why is he in there at all?
I guess he was offended by Stottlemeyer and Monk.
I guess they wanted it so it was like Stottlemeyer wasn't on the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stupid. They could have put Randy there. And then that would have been a funny thing instead of being, annoying.
Yeah. That's true. They could have put Randy there.
We should write the show, Kandyce.
Always. Forget the podcast.
Exactly.
How about when we're done with all the episodes and we just start writing them?
Exactly.
Not new episodes, though. We go back and we change the old episodes.
We change the old ones.
We start over.
For the better.
Okay.
Hit me with the dislikes. Oh, we're doing He's the Guy. Okay, so I have a He's the Guy and Kandyce doesn't, which means I am almighty powerful in today's episode. Wait, you have none, right? You don't have any?
No.
Okay, you don't have any. Okay. So my He's the Guy, drumroll please. It's a She's the Guy. Linda is Carol Baskin.
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, do your thing, Kandyce.
Okay, so this next one is a viewer's voice.
Really?
Our new segment, right? This is from Rabia on Instagram, who says that she likes when Sharon Lawrence shows up on her favorite shows. So we know Sharon Lawrence is Linda Fusco, right? Which we talked about Sharon Lawrence before on Mr. Monk and the Private Eye, where she showed up the first time, right? So since we already talked about her, I figured that I would, give Rabia the shout out here. And she actually loves Sharon Lawrence, so that's cool. She knows her from Desperate Housewives, Drop Dead Diva, Wolf Lake, and Hidden Palms.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, which she said that
I thought she was just Carol Baskin.
I think Wolf Lake and Hidden Palms, she said that she was short-lived on those shows. But that's cool that, because I recognize her from NYPD Blue, and not even like seeing her in that, just her, it's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I know she was on that show, even though I never watched it. So yeah, thanks Rabia.
Television is incredible.
For your
viewer's voice.
I thought that was good.
Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. That was just for you.
And then also we have one from not this episode, which is in the Monk group, right? I saw the other day. I texted Noah immediately and was like, dude, what the heck? In Mr. Monk and the Astronaut, remember we have one of your favorite guest stars, which was
Bob Duncan.
Bob Duncan, right? Okay, so he's the guy with the garage door opener, but his little girl actually has the garage door opener in her doll. That little girl is none other than
Alex Dunphy. From Modern Family.
Modern Family. That is crazy.
I didn't notice that at all. Even I looked at the picture and it doesn't even look like her.
I know. She's so little.
She's a little tiny
She's
baby.
so little. And yeah, you can't. I had to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
And to hear, I think she has like one line. Like, the man took my dolly. That's like the only thing she says. And it like still doesn't even look
Alex
like her.
Or the other one?
No, it's not Haley. It's Alex.
Are you?
Yeah.
It looks like Haley more than Alex.
It does. Isn't that crazy?
It looks like
totally
Miranda Cosgrove in School of Rock. Or Drake and Josh. It literally looks like her. Ah, dang.
So yeah, isn't that cray-cray? I thought that was crazy. I saw that on the Monk group and was like, I am so talking about that on our show. That is so cool. All right, so that is it for He's the Guy.
Tunk Jime. Welcome back to Tunk Jime. My favorite time and yours in the show where Ty eat junk. Wait.
Jai eat tunk.
No, wait.
What?
It's too much. Welcome back to Junk Time where I eat junk and Kandyce asks me questions, except I already ate all the junk. Or not all of it. I left a little for you, Kandyce.
Yeah, some cold scrappies with your...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird when you like squish it, it like indents it. So
I know,
it's
it was so big and then over time it shrank because we were touching it. Or I was touching it. Kandyce was talking and I was eating. It was very good. I don't know how you resisted the urge every time I was talking to not eat it.
All right, so I actually only have one question today for Junk Time, but it's from Rabia again.
Oh,
okay.
Sweet.
So she acknowledged that, in fact, Randy and the captain did talk about this at the very end of the episode, but she also wonders if Linda was planning this from the beginning or was it the real thing? So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it was the real thing. I definitely believe, I strongly believe that it was the real thing, except money got the best of her, greed got the best of her, and she wanted to make a quick buck, and I feel like she really did, like, because she was, like, sad at the end. She wasn't, like, and they would have gotten away for it, but she was, like, actually, like, sad that, like, she messed up her relationship with Stottlemeyer.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I completely and utterly agree with that.
Okay, yeah.
I think is the real
thing.
thing.
You're like, I disagree. You're stupid.
I think that those were excellent points that you made. One big point would be the fact that from the beginning, if she was planning it from the beginning, do you know how long the beginning was? This is season 6, episode 4. When we're introduced to her is season 5, episode 5. So that was
season.
So it was an entire season ago. So
I mean, it's not like she's reoccurring.
Well, no, but it's still the time. So we're to believe that in the time that it aired would be 1 year later. Right? So because every season is a year.
Yeah,
so that would be that they would be
to Hal
dating
as a year later, year behind.
Exactly. And it hadn't even been a year.
Yeah.
Because that was episode 11 and this was episode 4. So this was basically exactly a year ago that they'd been together. Yeah. And Stottlemeyer, you know, he says himself, you know, which again, he could have been duped, but he's like, you know, we had something real.
They did, yeah.
And we could have gone all the way. So he obviously, and he had the engagement ring, which again, he could have been duped, so that's not the best evidence. But it's, you know, enough to the fact that they had been together for so long that he had a ring to give to her, that he obviously was going to propose sometime soon. To me,
that the trip.
That shows that. Oh, I didn't think of that.
You didn't think of that?
No. Was I supposed to?
Yeah, that's why he didn't, like, completely get rid of the trip. Because he was like, oh, we're postponing it by a week. That was pretty obvious. I figured that out right when Randy was like, oh, no, they're still going.
What?
You didn't know
My
that?
mind is blown. This is a whole Murder Us situation.
Murder Us? Oh, no.
Is it not?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Robbie actually didn't say what she thought about it. I should have asked.
Dang.
Or just let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay, my last thing for junk time is, again, we had another bonus feature on this episode on the DVD. So I watched that. This one was from writer Joe Toplin. He wrote this episode. So he said that they started with the webcam being the perfect alibi. That's how, you know, sometimes it starts with the person, sometimes it starts with a clue, sometimes it starts with an idea, you know, guest star or whatever. But this one started with the webcam being the perfect alibi. He didn't mention the pin, though. I thought, like, oh, that would be interesting if, you know, if it started with it, like, rolling or something. You know what I mean? Because that was such a great clue that I thought that was interesting that he said that the webcam being the alibi was actually what the idea was and not the slant. But anyway, but the plan of the whole episode was actually to foil Stottlemeyer and Monk's relationship, not Stottlemeyer and Linda's relationship, if that makes sense. So it wasn't like, okay, well now let's make Linda a killer and then that'll ruin their relationship. It was, we actually want to see a really good episode where the relationship between Monk and Stottlemeyer that's been a very long building relationship, we want to see that in turmoil.
Crash and burn.
And so they actually considered not making Linda a murderer so soon and having storylines that involved Stottlemeyer dating. So, like we did see in the Bachelor auction one. Forget which episode that was off the top of my head. But, the thing with the biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcy.
You know, instances like that where them dating is either, like, tied into the storyline or something involves them, you know, in particular. They were considering not making her a murderer, you know, because they wanted to have those lines. And they even mentioned, like, maybe possibly, like, double dating with Monk. And I have no clue how that would... Because you obviously would have to have Monk have someone in order to double date. So I thought that was an interesting comment. I think that might have been interesting to, like, see them maybe go on a double date with, like, Randy and someone, or Natalie, you know? Like, they could have set, like, another person up. Like Linda could be like, oh, Randy, I have the perfect girl for you, or something, and they go on a double date. Like, something like that would be cool. But that was interesting that he said Monk, like, in particular, so.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But he did say, his last thing that he said was that he doesn't think that the captain is destined to end up alone. So,
A New Hope.
Yeah. So, and I will say it was not a, you know, those commentaries, they are from whenever they do those episodes. You know, for the most part. So it's not like he knows the future. He's just saying he doesn't think that he ends up alone. So he says he has a lot to offer the ladies.
He does.
So yeah, but that was cool.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Junk time's over.
Darn it.
Plot holes.
Welcome back to Hole Plots, where we poke
There's
holes.
a whole lot of plots.
There's a whole lot of plots that we poke holes in
all of them.
in the plots.
Okay. All right. Let's start with the Stotty plotty, because this is a Stottlemeyer centric episode. So we got some Stotty plotties here. All right. This might be a small one, and at first it's funny because you said that you corrected yourself on a plot hole, and I totally did the same thing. But I was like, wait, Linda doesn't live in a house. She lives in an apartment across the way from Stottlemeyer, because we saw that in that episode. But he said she recently moved uptown. So I was like, oh. I caught that the second time around, so makes me wonder how many plot holes I've messed up on. But I was gonna say the one that I did keep was Linda. Obviously, was like she's banking. Did you see the office that she had?
Yeah,
I didn't think her house really reflected that office.
She was like,
but I mean, I guess it's just more like stylistic.
She was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna lose a bunch of money from this dude." When she had this like $1 billion looking like
glass
company. There's, like, people
real estate
around her, like, working for her.
Yeah, and so, like, I was like, wait, so she lives in this house, which I didn't think was, like, super nice, but it was a big house. You know, she obviously has a large house, no matter what the style is. But then I was thinking, so then why was she even living across from Stottlemeyer? Stottlemeyer's was, like, a studio apartment, obviously, like, very low. We don't know, how much Stottlemeyer gets paid, but he was, like, in a tiny, like, bachelor apartment. Like, that place was not nice.
Yeah.
And Linda lives right across the way? Like, what? So is she rich or is she not rich? Where's the...
I think she's rich.
I mean, I guess to be fair, she was worried about money, and so she was going to kill her partner. So, I guess...
That is true.
I guess. I'll let it slide.
Okay, so she's wearing the mask the entire time she kills Sean with the shotgun. But the one clue, she's like, oh, she was wearing this lipstick.
Coral Peach by Runway. It's
like
a really unique shade.
So, like, it was through the mask?
I would have to watch it again to, like, 100% realize.
But
like,
I watched it twice.
I watched it twice, too.
I was like, falling asleep the first time, and I was like, am I just stupid or something? And then I watched it again, I was like, no, I'm not stupid or something. This doesn't make sense.
Never saw it, yeah. And maybe it's because they didn't want us to see that it was a woman. And so they didn't show us what that girl was supposed to have seen.
Obviously a woman.
But
my other one is, that's obviously Linda in the mask.
What? You're joking. My other one is Coral Peach. That girl knows her stuff.
I know. She said that she was the representative for the... or like she was a buyer or whatever.
I get that, and I'm like, you know what? If that was probably my job, I'd probably know what Coral Peach by Runway is too. But if I was being murdered at gunpoint...
Oh my gosh. Wait, is that Coral Peach by Runway number 3,704?
That is so hot.
Oh my gosh, it's a little pricey, but I have that in my back pocket. You can have a little bit of mine.
You need to touch up. Your mask, it was smearing it. I'm trying to help you.
The mask that is completely blocking your face. How? It doesn't make sense. Like, did she have it in, like, her hand or something? She's like, put your hands up. By the way, I have this Coral Peach by Runway lipstick. Or she had it smeared all across the shotgun. That's her signature thing.
That's how she figured it out. It's all coming clear.
She, like, throws it at them.
The mask totally was covering her face.
But I feel like, why would they make it so obviously, like, oh, a thing on her face? And then be like, oh, she was covering her face. Why would they do it? It just doesn't make sense.
That's true.
So, it's probably me, and I probably didn't pay attention or something, but...
Yeah, but my next thing is there such thing as a going away vacation party?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, you're gonna be gone for 3 days?
Hip hip hooray! Now I can
Randy was like, "Oh, well, we get a luau."
Like any excuse to have a party. Yeah, he totally said that. But I was like, who doesn't think that that's weird? We're like, hey, the captain's going away to vacation, so we're gonna have a party. Like, there's such thing as a going away party, but not for someone going... And I will say that, okay, if someone said that they were leaving for Europe for a month...
Yeah.
I would expect my family to be like, oh, well, you know, it's her last time to be together for the next month, and let's all get together and have dinner. But your boss is going away for 1 week to Hawaii.
Yeah. Crazy.
Why are we throwing a party? I don't understand.
That's crazy, yeah. So, obviously, Linda in the mask. And also, how did they think it was a guy at first? Because I know off the bat, like, as soon as we saw Linda in the next scene, I was like, oh, that's Linda. Because I knew it was a girl. I was like, that's obviously a woman.
Really? How? Just her body type? Her build?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't notice. I guess it was just moving so fast. They got me.
I think that's what
they did on purpose.
Though.
And they're like, oh, it goes so fast. I'm like, shot, dead, run.
It was also, the shot was also very, what's it called? Remember that one episode where he, like, falls onto the... We haven't talked about that in so long, where he falls onto the little, like...
Spindle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, like, a grandpa fall. Except it wasn't slow. He just gets, like... I guess they just edited out, like, the strings that, like, push him back. They're like, oh!
Yeah.
It doesn't look real at all.
That was also a really gruesome one. Like, last week we had the stabbing, and this was like, this guy was being blown away by a shotgun. That was a little scary. It was a little much.
I don't know. And you had the nude, you had the knives, and now you got the shotgun.
Bad girlfriend has a shotgun. And the last 2 murders are women. So we've had 4 episodes so far. 2 murders.
This is a lot about society, people.
2 murders for the women.
You know what they say? Women are violent.
Next week will be the tiebreaker. Men versus women.
Quote.
Who kills more?
Women are violent. End quote. Carol Baskin.
# snapped. Okay, my next one is, remember when they're on the motorcycle and they're riding through and the car says, wash me? Or whatever, right? Before he's touching all the antenna balls. That's a lot of antenna balls. All those cars in a row all have antenna balls.
Yeah, couldn't some of them just have the antennas?
Do you know the last time I've seen
an antenna ball?
Granted, this was 2008.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Every car in 2008 had an antenna ball? I don't think so. No.
No way. How does Linda have enough free time to make free time away from Stottlemeyer just to create a whole remake of her room in a van?
Doesn't he say, I barely get to see her, or like, this is why we video chat or something, because now she lives far away or something?
Yeah, but then that takes away from her time to be able to build it. Oh, I'm doing this every night for an hour?
Yeah.
That could be every night of an hour
that you
to
could
build it.
To build your set, yeah.
Exactly. Stupid. Very stupid.
She obviously wasn't putting any effort into running her real estate business because her partner was leaving her and taking all their clients.
Yeah.
So she's like, wait a second, instead of selling more houses and proving myself to my partner, what if I build a set in the back of a truck so I can kill him?
Exactly.
That's so much easier. Why haven't I thought about this years ago? We've been together for 17 years.
Exactly.
That is funny.
Why would... That's your first thing you do? Okay.
Yeah. That's all they're doing. Also, prove it.
Oh, yeah. Such a prove it.
Murder for money, and then prove it.
She's like, oh, you're suspicious about me? Well, let me be a little bit more suspicious and be like, oh, Stottlemeyer, what he doesn't know will hurt him. Like, if you're supposed to, if they think you're sketchy, lay low. Lay low, people. Amateurs.
Yeah.
They're all amateurs.
Yeah, they're so, yeah. Okay, this is a smaller one, but... Okay, you remember when Monk goes into the closet and he finds the gun oil and the, missing rack or whatever, or the rack, and so he's like, oh, there's a missing shotgun, right? Whenever he opens that closet, there's clothes, like a clothes rod with a bunch of clothes right in the way. Then he separates the clothes and then walks into the closet to look at all that stuff. What kind of a closet has clothes right in your face that you have to move out of the way, and then it's a walk-in closet?
Sucky real estate, if you ask me.
That rod was built in right in your face. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no such thing. Like, imagine you have a walk-in closet at home. All right, it's great. You open the door. There's a clothes rod right in your face. In order to walk to your shoes, you have to spread the clothes and then walk through that. What kind of dumbness is that? That's terrible architecture. Crazy. Thought she was a real estate agent. Come on, Linda.
Come on, Linda. You gotta be believable.
Okay, I have one more.
Yay.
And it's a good one.
Okay.
In theory, Linda and Stottlemeyer have been dating for 1 year. Mm-hmm. Yet, she doesn't know Monk at all. She doesn't know that he is the best detective in the free world. So, yes, maybe she can fool Stottlemeyer, but she thinks that she's going to be able to fool Adrian Monk. And whenever Stottlemeyer wants to go to the crime scene, she's like, no, please don't leave me. Because she's trying for Stottlemeyer not to go, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If she would have been smart, she would have figured out some way to make Adrian not be able to go look at the crime scene. Because no matter what evidence Stottlemeyer had in his face, he was not believing that it was her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, why would... They've known each other for a year, and she doesn't know that Adrian Monk is her boyfriend's detective machine.
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
Do your research, lady.
And she
Before
thinks
you
she
come
can...
at me, Carol Baskin.
And she thinks she can seduce Monk?
Yeah, she did not do her research at all.
That's... What a terrible, terrible criminal. She had... You know what I mean? Like, she had to have not known Monk at all.
Yeah.
Oh, you know he's deeply in love with Trudy, right? And would never do that? Like...
Yeah.
What? Yeah. That's my last one. Linda does not know Monk at all.
Dang, that's a good one. How crazy was Monk this episode? Plus crazy moments. So, Kandyce, well, what's
out of 10?
Out of 10 what's?
Okay.
I'm glad you asked. Well, out of 10 hibiscus flowers. And I did not know this, but hibiscus flowers has their own emoji.
Oh, nice. I put out of 10 Linda Lays.
Linda Lays?
Yeah. Like, you know, the lace.
Oh. Carol Baskin.
You were confused.
Carol Baskin.
10 Carol Baskin Lays.
Carol Baskin crowns? Flower crowns?
Flower crowns.
Okay, so he has to be the first one to wear the helmet.
I don't even have that. Nice.
He has to touch the car antennas while on the motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And he needs the lady to fix the blinds.
When he's on the motorcycle, he gives the guy a thumbs down.
That was good.
He won't hold on to Natalie in the first place. Mm-hmm. Because he's going to use weight displacement. He wants Natalie to haul bottom.
It's...
Haul bottom? It means you don't stop for anything.
It's biker talk.
It's biker talk. And I also put the blinds that he's tortured by them. Mm-hmm. The tea bag, the blinds, the styrofoam, and the scuff mark. The fact that he starts talking to the woman. So, ma'am, I'm going to need you to fix the blinds at this time. Who is that? I'm the FBI in Washington.
We're in D.C.
D.C. I'm watching you on my computer screen. Oh, it's so good. He is not a federal agent. Yes, I am. And then my last one is, are my eyes bleeding? All right, so out of 10 Linda Lays, I'm going with a 1. Just one Linda Lay.
A single Linda Lay? Mm-hmm. Linda Lay. One single Linda Lay. Well, out of 10 hibiscus flowers, I give him a 2 out of 10. He's on his A game. The only really crazy moment is the blind scene.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The FBI thing.
Yeah.
But Stottlemeyer's totally baiting him.
Yeah.
So, I agree.
Exactly. Or on the motorcycle when he's doing the things with the ball, the antenna balls.
Yeah. Which, again, isn't really crazy. Like, it isn't too crazy at all.
Yeah.
Really.
Honestly, it would be pretty fun. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. All right.
But it's pretty good.
Not too crazy.
He did really good.
Yeah.
Rate this episode. Okay. Kandyce, what would you rate this episode out of 10?
I want you to go first.
Oh, okay. I'm rating this a 7 out of 10.
Oh my god.
It's a solid episode, not too great, not too... I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because it's above average. No, above average would be a 6. It's better than above average.
Average.
No, better than above average. It's an 8 out of 10.
It's like...
But below...
It's like, this is how I see it. Like, it's like above average technically would be a 6, but above a Monk average, like, I feel like a Monk average is like a 7. Like, a 5 is like a pretty bad episode.
Yeah.
Like, it's not great.
Yeah.
So,
like
just to say, like, oh, it's above average, so it gets a 6. Like, that doesn't really make sense. All right. So, to me, this is a fantastic episode. I was absolutely hooked, glued to the screen, watched it again, same thing again. I just feel like so many long chunks of this episode were very strong. It's not like you wait for one good scene to happen. The half of the episode, I was like, oh my gosh, that was so good. Oh my gosh, that was so good. So I thought this was a very, very strong episode. Great plot, great clue, bad girlfriend. So I am giving it a...
It's going to be way too high.
10.95.
Didn't you give that to the last one?
No, last time was a 6.
Oh, 10.95?
Yeah. I think I gave the... I gave the rapper a 9.95.
The rapper?
Yeah.
It's not called the rapper?
Mr. Monk and the rapper?
Oh. I said it's called the rapper. Weird.
I will say, when I wrote my notes, I spelt rapper like wrapping a present. And I was like,
with
what
the W?
the heck? Right after I wrote it, I was like, what the heck was I thinking? But yeah, I
The rapper is so much better than this. Are you kidding
Really?
me?
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that you were going to think the opposite.
What?
See, I like the rapper a lot because of Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And then also, like, the rapping summations were cool and that. And the daylight savings time was really, really interesting, too. But I love the pen thing so much that I'm like, oh, it's hard to choose for me. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't decide. So that's interesting that I genuinely thought that you were going to like this one a lot better than the rapper. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I think in general people like this one better than the rapper.
Do not put words into my mouth.
Okay, well, I won't. Except for next time whenever I guess if you like it or not.
What, you're guessing?
Well, in my head, I'm like, oh, Noah's not going to like this one. And then I'm like half the time I'm wrong.
50% chance.
Yeah. I'm 75 to 78% sure that I'm always wrong whenever I guess. That I'm always sometimes wrong.
Guys, we're at this time of the show where...
Or we wrap it up.
I'm looking at my very real watch that is very existing in this world. And it says that it's time to go.
It's time to eat dinner.
It's time to eat dinner?
I'm hungry. Yeah.
I don't think dinner's ready. I think
the cloud bread did it for me in the sense that it tided me over, but let's face it, it's made of clouds.
It wasn't.
We also understand the irony that Monk is afraid of clouds, and
that was part of the joke.
That was part of the joke, yeah. So in case you didn't know.
But thank you all for watching. Give everyone at home a big round of applause. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you want some cloud bread, we found that on TikTok. So just type in cloud bread, and it was super easy.
I'll tell them.
You go for it.
It is. We put in a lot of vanilla extract.
Yeah, we wanted it to taste good.
It was like half a tablespoon of vanilla extract. 3 egg white eggs, but
yeah,
like
so it was
egg
6 tablespoons of egg whites.
Right, and then it was also 1/4 cup sugar and 1/8 cup cornstarch. Yeah. Very simple, and you're like, what the heck? Why is this so small? And it's a little puddle of like goop. And then you mix it up, and then boom, slowly
you have to
becomes
beat
this
it
big.
with like a stand mixer is like better because you don't have to do it with your hands.
But
you can beat it with a electric hand mixer for like at 15 minutes at least.
Yeah, you cannot do it with a regular whisk, boy.
Yeah,
because that would have been a nightmare.
You need what's called stiff peaks. So when you pull it up out of the bowl and you flip it over really quick, it creates this nice peak. If it's liquidy and it's falling over, it's not done yet. So. And then preheat your oven to 350 and cook it for how long?
20 to 30 minutes, but for us it took 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, Candace took it out early because she's an idiot.
Well, I thought it was burning, so I took it out.
Oh.
We also made it orange. We didn't mention that.
Yeah, we dyed it.
We dyed it orange for
you
our
can dye
podcast.
it blue, you can dye it red. Yeah, we dyed it orange because Cheeto. Our thing is like Cheetos because chunky blunk.
So yeah, we've taught you how to ride a bike on this podcast, and now we've taught you how to cook and make your own dish. We've literally gave you all the instructions.
I know. Oh my gosh.
So
Look at us.
You should feel grateful.
And subscribe.
Subscribe. If you're not already you're already listening. So yeah, it's okay. Follow us on TikTok.
Follow definitely at junkmonkpodcast. Is that what we're at? At junkmonkpodcast. So yeah, we're going into the Phantom Zone. Goodbye.
There is an echo button. So
there is an echo button.
I mean, not a button, but
can you do that like?
I can do it in post. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So I'm gonna redo that. Goodbye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she is at Hardheads and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., subscribe to my vlog, Noah Hernandez, on YouTube. Also, you can leave us a voicemail at 323-366-0477 with your questions, comments, or just to show us some love.
Don't forget to catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video, and of course, subscribe to our show.
You'll thank me later.